Hello there, I'm Lauren, and welcome to Principal Studio. This is a space where we explore the questions, experiences, and principles that influence the choices we make. Lately, I've been consuming a lot of content about marriage and how people should stop believing it's the pinnacle of life. At this point in my life, marriage is not my goal. My goal is to live a life that I'm proud of and happy to wake up to every day. And if I attract someone whose life and values align with mine, I'm open to marriage if it makes sense for both of us. But I can feel myself becoming biased towards anti marriage messages, and before I jump off the deep end, I want to take a step back and examine what I actually believe. So today I'm going to unpack 3 messages about marriage that I've been hearing online lately in an effort to separate what I actually believe from what I've been repeatedly exposing myself to. If you enjoy hearing perspectives that question common assumptions about life, relationships, and personal growth, don't forget to subscribe. Okay, here we go. One of my favorite YouTube commentators, Dr. Cecilia Regina, has a video about why marriage is a humiliation ritual. I'm going to highlight the part that is relevant to my commentary, but I recommend watching it if you're interested. I linked the video in the description below. According to an article by Marpessa Allen, humiliation rituals are deliberate acts designed to dishonor, shame, or degrade individuals and have been used for centuries to control, punish, or manipulate. Dr. Cecilia Regina does not use that exact definition when she speaks about marriage as a humiliation ritual, but it's a term that I've seen used in the context of marriage lately, and I want to ground my thoughts in a concrete definition. In her video, she uses feminist Lindy West's marriage as a case study to show how marriage can be used to disempower women as a whole. Long story short, Lindy West's husband decided that he wanted them to be in a polyamorous marriage. Lindy initially hated the idea, but says she's okay with it now because the prospect of losing her husband felt intertwined with losing a part of her self-worth. And that last part is what can make marriage a humiliation ritual. Because when we place our self-worth in our partner's hands, it becomes incredibly difficult to set the necessary protective boundaries within a marriage. And not setting boundaries makes it easier to go along with things that degrade and dishonor the empowered person each of us was born to be. So do I think marriage is a humiliation ritual? No, I don't. But I do think using marriage to prove self-worth can create a life of humiliation and misery. And that's not a life anyone deserves. The second message I've been hearing online is that just because someone marries you, it doesn't mean they chose you. I grew up watching Disney princess movies that made so many of us little girls dream of falling in love and getting married. But isn't it interesting how the stories often end with the wedding? We rarely see what comes next. We don't see the difficult conversations, the disappointments, the sacrifices, the forgiveness, or the daily acts of care that sustain a relationship over time. We don't see the countless moments where two people decide again and again to show up for one another. I believe choosing someone is so much more than signing a marriage certificate. Do both partners make each other feel safe and supported? Is there authentic intimacy? Is the communication healthy and consistent? Are their values aligned? Is the emotional connection growing deeper over time? In my opinion, these are the areas where the real choices take place. If I were ever in a relationship where marriage was a strong possibility, I would ask myself a strange question. Would I choose to be with this person during the apocalypse? I know it might sound odd, but stay with me. If society collapsed tomorrow, marriage certificates would probably become meaningless pieces of paper. But care, trust, respect, emotional safety, and genuine love would still matter. In fact, I'd argue that they would matter more than ever. And I would choose those aspects every day of the week, with or without a marriage certificate. So I wholeheartedly agree that just because someone chooses to enter into a marriage contract with you, it doesn't necessarily mean they are committed to choosing you. And the last message I've been hearing is that love shouldn't be the only reason to get married. Let's switch gears for a moment and think about marriage like a vehicle. To me, love is the exterior. It's the part that catches our attention first. It's the shine, the style, the thing that makes us say, "Ooh, I want that." But intimacy, emotional safety, friendship, trust, alignment, and support are the inner mechanics. They're the parts nobody sees, but they're the reason the vehicle can move in the first place. And if those things aren't maintained, it doesn't matter how beautiful the outside appears. No one is getting very far. So I'm not saying love doesn't matter. I believe it does. But I don't think it's meant to carry the entire weight of marriage on its own. And I know marriage means different things to different people. For some, it's about romance and finding their happily ever after. For others, it's about security and stability. And neither of those reasons is inherently right or wrong. But if marriage is something you desire, I think it's worth asking yourself what it actually means to you. Not what Disney showed you, not what your parents taught you, not what Instagram feeds you. You. Because the clearer we are about what marriage means to us, the easier it is to recognize whether the relationship we're in is actually built to support it. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. If this conversation gave you something to think about, I'd love to hear your perspective in the comments. And if you'd like to continue exploring life through the lens of Principal Studio, don't forget to subscribe. Stay curious.